Hello, it's Jane again. I'm back down at the allotment. It's the middle of July and once again it's turning out to be an absolutely glorious evening. Oh, this is wobbling a bit. I think I'll be okay. This could be a blooper coming up. But yeah, what I want to share with you today is a little bit about preparing for next year. I know, but also I've got some really exciting news. As I've walked in today, I've noticed our lovely neighbour, who is just a gem and knows all there is to know about companion planting, has left me a clump of Vivi. She's left it in the water, but so obviously I'm going to have to find a place pretty quickly to put this in. But before I do, I want to find out exactly what it's beneficial for. I know it's beneficial for insects and that sort of thing, but I want to see what other plants, fruit, vegetables it is good for, because it's one of my favourite plants. And actually, I know this is going over a bit now, this is the double version, but I really love the smell of the leaves. And I remember reading years and years and years ago, probably in the last century, about how it got its name because people used to think if you put the leaves in a sandwich of some sort, or you just ate one of the leaves, it would get rid of a headache. I've tried it. It's not very nice, but yeah, we need to find a spot for that. And I have just got to show you my grapes. Look at this, look. And I know if you're a grape grower, you're going to say, Jane, those grapes should have been thinned out. Well, I did thin them out. I thought I'd thinned them out enough. Now, clearly, I hadn't. I haven't been harsh enough, like you're not when you knew it's something you're a little bit lily-livered, a little bit worried about it. So yeah, I will be getting rid of like smaller bunches like this. There we go, I was a bit shy. But also another job I need to be doing is starting to remove some of the smaller grapes. I was going to say berries then, but what are they? Some of the smaller fruits, for which I know at home I've got a pair of long pointy scissors that I use for sewing with, so I need to bring them up and just spend a quiet half an hour going round and just clipping out these teeny tiny ones to make room for the bigger ones to spread. But yeah, they're a treat. Oh, here we go. Let's just check. Oh, I'm actually prepared. Look at this. I've got all my things. I know it might seem like a bit of madness, and I hope you can see me because the sun's come right out now, but there we go. It might seem like madness to start talking about getting your plants ready for next year when we haven't even started really thoroughly harvesting proper for this year yet. But one of the things that are over and done with for the year pretty much now are the strawberries. Now, these ones, it's their second year. We didn't get loads. We had nice strawberries and, you know, we had enough to keep us going in that we picked them and ate them, and that was that. We certainly didn't have enough to put away to make jam with or anything like that, but it's been nice. And actually, I think they're one of those plants that do vary from year to year, because our neighbour again has said she's had a very poor year for her strawberries. And last year, apparently, she said, I mean, you'll have seen the length of the lane, some of you, that we walked down to get to the allotment. And she said pretty much, you know, at the top of the lane, you could smell the strawberries last year. It was that lovely. Might have been to do with the heat, I don't know. But yes, what we want to do now is they've pretty much finished through. They've finished fruiting, so, I don't know, can you see that side over there? It's one of those areas of shame that doesn't usually turn up on camera, but I think it's right in the, well, if you can see it, you'll know what I mean. But we've got to have somewhere to put the weeds. So yeah, what I'm going to do is stop waffling on and tell you what I'm going to do. Right, okay. Really, up until the first 3 years, you shouldn't really take runners or anything like that. You're trying to let your strawberry plant really establish itself. And on the third year, it should give its maximum amount of fruit, after which it'll start to decline a little bit, as we all do. And really, you don't, the textbook thing is don't take runners until that third year. But these are in their second year, and I'm going to do it now because I can and I want to. So just to show you, I know you all know what a runner is, but just in case you don't, if you look at the length of this one, actually, down here, where my finger is down here, is the base of the plant. So follow my finger all the way down there. And actually, the first plantlet is all the way up here. So what's that, about 2 feet? 60 centimetres in New English. But this one at the end here, this one could form a new plant for next year, but this one, not really any good for anything. You could use it, and you might be shouting at the screen now and saying, Jane, it's a waste, but really you are going to get your best runners from the plantlets that are closer to the plants themselves. Okay, so also, I mean, you can see what's urged me on to do this. They are all over the path, and if I don't keep an eye on them, they are going to make a mat where I don't want them to. So I'm going to clip the ones off I don't want, try and make a pile of them and try and be methodical about it. And then I'm going to bring you down here and show you what I've got left and what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so what I've got here, I don't know if you can tell so much, but this is one of the really, really strongest plants. So this is the one I'm going to be looking at runners from more so. And if I show you, now let me just see. Yeah, I've clipped that one off already. If it's been, if the runner comes out further than about a foot, something like that, then I'm not going to keep it. So let me just clip that back. I've lost my scissors now. Oh, there we are. Right, we're just trying to keep it a bit tidy so we can see what we're doing. That one, I could pop that one on. I mean, that's a good example of what happens. So already the little plantlet is sending out its roots. So yeah, I could put that one out. I'm going to get rid of the bit after it though. And then, let me just show you, move the camera around slightly. This one is a perfect example. I mean, you can see from that, that has already started rooting in the soil, and I think I've pulled it up. But left on their own, that is what they'll do. But what we want to do is we want to get the strongest ones, so we don't want them to have to send out their strength to all their runners. See, that's got a nice one there as well. We just want good, strong, healthy runners to pot in. So all I'm going to do with that one, actually it's not even on the plant I said I was going to do it on, but here we go. Let me just see if you can see. I don't know if you can see or not. Let me put, it is a similarly healthy plant right next door. Can you see that? Can I see that? Hold on, wibble wobble. There's my hand. Yeah, there's my hand. Okay. All I'm doing really is disturbing the soil again. It's one of those things to say. Making sure the roots are going down under the soil. Bless me. And then I'm putting a little stone on top. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that at all. So we'll try with another one. Off camera gardening with Jane. Let's try again. We'll go for this one. Okay. Nope, we're not. We're going for, oh look at this one. Yep, too many there. Look at that. You see what a perfect plant that is. Now come next year, you'd pay a fortune for that at the garden centre, but it's just off shot, so I'll do that one in a minute. I'm hoping we get one that's actually, here we are, yeah. This is the one I clipped off. It's not as big as the other ones, but it's the first runner on the line. So again, I'm just going to put it where I want it to be, which is round about there. Dig a tiny bit of soil, get another little pebble, and put it on top. And what those pebbles will do as well, they'll just not just weight it down, but they will tell me where I've put the runners so I can be extra careful. So yeah, look at this one again. Look at that one. Beautiful example. And actually, yeah, I'm saying I'm not taking that way. This is it, I change my mind all the time. But you see, if I'm going to put that in down here. I'm going to put it in off camera. I'm not even going to dig it. I can just use my fingers. The soil in these beds that we added all the mulch and compost to is so much richer and so much better than our large beds at the top. I'm really pleased with these. So yeah, that's 3 plants already that should come to something, and I'm just going to go around. I probably won't do them all today. There isn't really a rush, but you might decide that you don't want any more plants, in which case it's a good idea to just, let me get it, think, there we go, not the camera, Jane. Go around and chop your runners off. It's like deadheading. It's sort of letting all the energy go back into the plants. So if you don't want any more, make sure you chop your runners off once you've made that decision. If it's your first or second year with strawberries, we should have really done it with this being their second year. Chop your runners off anyway to encourage the plant to fruit more. But yeah, or you might just decide you just want 6 new plants. Go round, find your strongest runners, pop them in pots. A lot of people do it that way. There we go, there's that one. You can pop them in pots and pop the pots just below soil level, with soil in of course. And then you'll know where they are, and once they've rooted, not until, you can then disconnect them from the mother plant. Now this doesn't look good at all. This is one of the apples we brought up from the old plot last year, and it looks to me like scab. Is it apple scab? Any apple experts out there? You let me know. These are the heritage purple podded peas that I planted direct in the soil actually, and there's been no mice near them. They've done possibly better than they have done for a long time, but they're not quite ready for harvest yet. But don't they look a treat? Okay, you might think this time of year is past the time for, I don't know, propagating and sowing your seeds and all that sort of thing, but it's the best time for taking cuttings of woody shrubs. That's what I'm going to call them, woody shrubs. So this includes thyme, and I've been looking into my companion planting, and apparently thyme is a very, very good companion plant to blueberries. We planted our blueberries in a bed out there last year, and it's got quite an acidic soil with it, and thyme benefits from that really well. But as you can see, I have got a lovely thyme in the garden, but really this was a bit that actually broke off and I just shoved in the pot and it's come. But it should provide some perfect, I say that, perfect cutting material. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use, look, my garlic's still drying there. I'm going to use this as, can you see that? Just as something, so when I water this, it's not going to fall out the bottom. I'm on pretty much my last bit of compost here, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put my compost in a pot. Can't find my scissors because in typical Jane fashion I've tidied them up somewhere, but no, I'll find them as soon as I've done this. In fact, I might not even use a knife. I think I am just going to, let me get myself ready. I am just going to peel a bit away from the stem, and can you see there? It's got like a little heel there. I'm going to strip some of the lower leaves. I'm going to behead it as well, because I'm in that sort of mood. Right, okay. Oh, it smells lovely. Working with herbs is just beautiful. Even if you're just trimming them or just walking past them, they're so worth having in the garden. Okay, so I've got that little heel there. I am going to, and again, you can probably do it without rooting powder, dip it in a bit of water, dip it in a bit of powder, tap off the excess, put it in my pot. Did you see any of that? I realised that was completely off camera. How can I do that so you can see it? Let me move up a bit. The next one, just in case. Right, in case you're still there. Right, okay, next one. I'm pulling it downwards slightly. So I've got my little tiny heel. You see the heel? Okay. I will take the top off. I don't think it's got a flowering bit at the top. If ever you take a cutting and it's got a flower on, obviously you take the flower off because you don't want all the plant's energy going into that. A little bit of water. Dum da dum. Little bit of that. And I'm just going to carry on going around the pot because I'm getting them for nothing. This really, as I say, should have, I know a lot of people would have thrown it out the moment it snapped off. But if it can provide me with some half decent cuttings, I'll be a happy bunny. And yeah, I won't feel bad, because you don't want to feel like you spent a lot of money on your garden, especially if it's an allotment, because ultimately it's not yours. Let's just see if I can find another good one. There we go. Yeah, I won't feel bad putting as many thyme plants around the edge as I can. Okay, I'm going to carry on with that, and I'll show you what they look like when they are all potted up. There we have them. 7 little thyme cuttings. I've probably left way too many leaves on, but we're giving them a good little chance there. And once I start to see, oh, there's the water coming through. Once you start to see roots coming out the bottom, you know that they're fine. Brownie points for guessing what this is. This is one of the lychee tomato plants from Richard and Paul that they very kindly sent me some seed from earlier on in the year. And if you look at this, actually the flowers have been beautiful, very like potato flowers because of course they're the same family, but look at these thorns. I mean, Richard does call it bitchy litchy, but look at that. My goodness, I hope these tomatoes are going to be worth it, you know. Apparently they're not, but it's going to be fun trying to pick them. So yeah, Richard and Paul, thank you very much. The bitchy litchy lives on. There we go. Oh, it's glorious again. I should just sit here and shut up. Imagine if I didn't say anything. That would be weird. It might be nice, but it'd be a bit weird. Yeah, so there we go. There's a couple of jobs done there that are sort of preparing for next year. And it's sort of almost difficult to get your head round, really, that it's only the middle of July. And yet already I'm thinking about my planting for next year. I mean, obviously, as I say, I'm really wanting to get into the companion planting a bit more. I've got that feverfew, as I said, from my plot neighbour, which is, I don't know if it's on shot or not, but it's still in the water, but because I want to find out exactly where to put it so it'll be the most beneficial for the plants around it. So I'll be doing a little bit of research on that before I dunk it in, which is what I normally do. But yeah, I've got the thyme sorted, and hopefully if that roots, even if just a couple of them root, that's plants for free, and it's on a bit of plant that I thought, you know, anyone else would have thrown away. I thought it was a goner, but I might have a few plants for free. And I've started with the runners on the strawberry patch. I carried on after I stopped filming, but I must admit, I've got about 10 at the moment. I want to get about 20 really good runners rooted. And then I can clear away, because it is all spilling out over the paths, I can clear away the ones I don't want. And then I'm not going to be at risk of getting a mat of strawberries that are so weak that you just get teeny tiny little things with no taste. So yeah, next year's going to be a good one for strawberries. The wind's picked up now, so I'm hoping you're not going to be affected by my mic too much. I have got my dead cat on it, always alarming, but it should be okay. Yes, before I get onto my, oh no, let me show you this one. speaking of cuttings, which I sort of was, this is one that I took from my neighbour's plot last year. It is a plot next but one. They took the plot on, and on it there was some gorgeous roses, some really, really quite brushy orange and pink roses, about 5 or 6 foot tall. And the thing was, they'd been left to their own devices. They had a lot of disease, there was a lot of dead in them, and all he wanted to do was just dig them up and make way to put something else in. So, being the little scavenger that I am, I asked if I could take a few cuttings, which I did. And I've got to be honest, I took 3. One of them had sort of black spot on it and everything when it started to come, so I got rid of that straight away. Another one didn't come, but the third one, can you see? Let me put my glasses on and then I can see if you can see. The third one has actually taken really well. I mean, it's been in this pot now for, well, since last August, September maybe, almost a year. And you can see we've got a really nice strong stem there. Oh, a little bit of black spot. I'm going to take that off. Take that off and put it in my pocket. So I don't want it, there. Okay. Telltale sign that your cutting has taken is when you look underneath and you can see some roots, and this is just starting to send out roots. So yeah, it's a rose for free, and I always thought roses were really, really particular with how you had to propagate them and everything. So it might not come true to the colour that it was, because I don't know if it was grafted or not, but free plant, what's not to like? Anyway, yes. Oh, yes, before my news, I am building this news up a bit. You're going to go, oh, we knew that when I come to it. But anyway, yes, this is just a handy tip to pass on. I have registered with a website called Blightwatch.co.uk. Now, if you're not in the UK, I'm sure there will be similar things in your country. And what that does is it sends you an alert if you are going to encounter a Haugen period. I didn't know what a Haugen period was either, but a Haugen period is when the temperature, I think it's for 2 days, is going to be above 10 degrees and the humidity level is round about 90 degrees, because that is the perfect, that's a sheep on my phone, sorry, that is the perfect conditions for blight to thrive in. So it's not saying that you've got blight in your area, but it's saying just keep an eye out. So for example, if you've got your tomatoes and they're a little bit overcrowded, if you keep thinking I really must go in and sort of thin them out a bit, when I say thin them out, maybe chop off the lower leaves, the lower stems, you know, even if you've got like big stems with great big leaves on, maybe chop off the end of it. It seems a bit cruel, I know, but just anything that's going to help increase the airflow around your tomatoes is going to help, and it's going to help ward off blight, because once you've got it, it's just going to, oh, it's just not nice. I've had it before. I'll probably get it again, but hopefully not until later on in the season, by which time I will have managed to harvest most of the crop. Anyway, my news. Okay. If any of you, again, it's a UK thing, and I'm sorry if you're outside the UK, but you can look these things up on the internet. But if you're in the UK and you garden at all, you will possibly be aware of the big gardening shows that go on. There's all the RHS ones like Tatton Park, Hampton Court, trying to think of another one, can't think of one. There's the Big Gardeners World show, which is the one I went to in June. And then there are other shows. I don't know if the one in Harrogate is RHS or not, the Royal Horticultural Society, but anyway, there's a huge one in Yorkshire, a spring and autumn show, and that's very, very highly thought of. And there's also one in Malvern, which is on the Welsh-Shropshire border, and the autumn show, they have a spring show and an autumn show, as I say. I've been to the spring one before, but I was recommended to go along to the autumn show because it's more to do, it's got far more to do with vegetables and harvest, etc. And yeah, giant veg shows and that sort of thing. So it's a sheep again. I turn my phone over, it won't make any difference, you'll still hear it. I don't even know what that notification's for. What about if I put the lettuce on top of it? That might muffle it a bit. Anyway, I got in touch with the Malvern show, having met up with a few other YouTubers at Gardeners Live. I was wondering if there was any way we could just have like a meeting area or a meeting spot, because I know there's going to be a few other YouTubers going. And I just thought, you know, maybe if they could just give us a table in a corner or, you know, something like that, it would be nice as a sort of, just again, like a meeting point to drop in and, you know, see if there was anyone there, have a chat, meet up with fellow creators really. And anyway, this idea developed and developed and developed. And it was Mike actually who said to me, why don't you do like a gardener's Q&A? I thought, oh no, gardener's question time, that's going to be sort of like what the professionals do. That's like Monty Don and Bunny Guinness on the radio and Terry Walton. And I thought, no, that sounds strange. But you know what? The more I thought about it, the more it made me think there's people out in YouTube land far more knowledgeable than me, I know. But there is such a wealth of information out there that why not? Why not have a little panel of people who, you know, who do the YouTube videos so the public are already aware of them. They've proved that they can garden through what they show on their channels. Why not get them together and have more of a sort of, I suppose, a down-to-earth question and answer session? Anyway, going on about that, I approached them. I asked if maybe that was a possibility, and blow me down, they got back and said yes. They really liked the idea. So as it turns out now, there's going to be 4 of us, she says, 4 of us, getting together on the Sunday the 29th of September at Malvern. We're looking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the moment, it might change, to do a question and answer session with the general public, who might just be Mike and Rocky. I don't know, we won't take Rocky. But yeah, if you've got tickets, you know, please come along and say hello. There are going to be quite a few other YouTubers there. I'm currently trying to get quite a few people together to do a big picture, big photo opportunity in the Harvest Pavilion, which will be lovely. So if you have got a channel, or even if you want to just come along and have a little nose and see who's there, do get in touch, and we'll try and coordinate so that we're all together. I've asked if we can use the show photographer, which we can, but yeah, I'll update everyone on times and dates more permanently once they're more set in place, but currently it's 2 o'clock on the Sunday. But how exciting is that? I think for this first time ever, I might just be a little bit dumbstruck. I might not know what to say, and I might be a little bit starstruck, because it's going to be with lovely Vivi, the lovely Liz and the lovely Hugh, and they all know their stuff. So there might be quite a bit of me saying to them, what do you think? Which works very well in the classroom, but I don't know if it'll work well on a live Q&A, but we'll see. It's really exciting anyway. So yeah, watch this space. I've gone on, haven't I? I've picked a lettuce. I'm going to take it home and put something with it for my tea. It'll probably be pizza. It starts off looking really healthy, doesn't it? And yeah, I picked some, over the week I've been picking some blancmange too, a lot of which now, because I've been waiting for them to fill with peas, have gone over, so I'm using them as peas in stir fries and that sort of thing. I've been using a ton of broad beans. We've had a couple of kohlrabi, and the main thing at the moment that we're digging up, and I have got a pile of at home, is the new potatoes, which have been the most delicious new potatoes I've ever had. I probably say that every year, but yeah, they're really, really good. So yeah, really starting to enjoy the harvest, and I still feel like it's not kicked in enough yet, but yeah, we're getting there. Anyway, with that news and with that waffle, I'm going to leave you now. I hope you're having some of this sunshine wherever you are. It's gorgeous. Again, my favourite time of day at the allotment. I was going to say it's reasonably quiet, but there's quite a few people chatting over there. But I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes now, and then I'm going to pack up and go home. And yeah, have a lovely, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. I'll see you again soon. Bye.